Alright, hello. Today we're gonna take a look at a melee weapon that has a very desirable stat that most people ignore, and we're gonna be exploiting that stat to the most of its abilities. But before we get into that, I want to talk a bit about the latest dev stream for Kumei and the Five Fates on the Tokyo Game Show. By far the best dev stream that D has ever done. Like, I have watched from dev stream 100 onwards every single dev stream and every single TennoCon. There have been obviously better TennoCons because this is their live event, but as a dev stream, it was by far the best one. It was like watching a TennoCon, and in fact, compared to this year's TennoCon, this dev stream showed us a lot more things and made us way more hyped about the next update. The next update is looking absolutely fantastic, and I am gonna play it. I'm gonna live streaming. There's gonna be way more live stream after the update drops on both Twitch and YouTube, so I'll leave Twitch link in the description if you want to see that. On YouTube, you will probably see me around a bit more often now that the update is gonna drop and we're gonna have more content. Now, for today's video, we're taking a look at the Nami Solo. Now, you may be asking, what does the Nami Solo have that is not completely unique to it, but it is very desirable as a stat on melee weapons, on most melee weapons. Many people ignore it because they don't know they want the stats, and it's unique to only this weapon and one more as far as I know. That is follow through. So, on only and only the Thorugh and the Nami Solo, these two weapons have the unique ability to get exactly 1.0 weapon follow through. So the Thorugh gets it after getting 10 kills or assists, and the next attacks gain 1.0 follow through, while the Nami Solo has it consistently. Now, Nami Solo has it through this evolution where you have to hold your Q button to get your blade out or whatever is your melee weapon, and then you get your blade out like this if you hold the switch weapon button, and now the weapon will constantly have 1.0 follow through. Now, what is follow through? Why do you need follow through? Is it that important of a stat? And yes, it is. And I'm gonna show this with the easiest example ever, and that is gonna be with Naira's whip, which is called Vertilac. I didn't remember. So for the Vertilac, I used to have a build like this with a maiming strike. Now, you see this is a really good maiming strike build, but the follow through on this whip is a whopping 15%. So as a 50% whip, what does this mean for this weapon? Well, we're gonna see that we're gonna spawn these heavies, and we're gonna group them all together. Now the issue we have here is that when we flight attack, you see some damages are down to 1 or even 0. Literally 0 damage. We're hitting every enemy, but quickly our damage diminishes, and this is because of the follow through stat. What follow through does is if you hit one enemy only, you deal max damage to them. The next enemy takes 50% of what your damage would deal, and then the enemy after that 50% of that, and then 50% of that, and it goes down until it reaches 0. So normal attacks like here, they will deal fine damage, but you quickly see 5 and 4 damage on the other targets, which is why whips are off meta, and which is why we see some attacks dealing literally 0 damage. So, knowing this, if we go to the Nami Solo, I will completely remove Melee Vortex, it's not needed for this, but now you're kind of getting an idea of what we're gonna do with this build. We're gonna do the same thing, and you will see that all the enemies take exactly 950 damage, which is why they die extremely quickly. So, as I said, Melee Vortex, this is the arcane that has been popping up lately a bit more, and that people have finally realized how useful it is, because Magnetic got buffed, it now deals a ton more damage to Eximus enemies, and Eximus Overguard shields drop a bit quicker, which makes your Melee Vortex activate onto them as well, and then 100% damage on every enemy means that all of the enemies that will be grouped up in front of you will take the maximum amount of damage. Now we will combine this magnetic damage with Toxin because Prime Fever Strike. Now, This is because this is why I go for Toxin and not go for something like Heat. It's not because Heat is bad in any way. Heat is amazing. Heat is one of my favorite elements. But because of Prime Fever Strike, every hit is gonna deal a lot more damage, and the Toxin effect itself will deal a bigger DOT. So, knowing this is a pretty standard build for or normal attack spam with a Tenokai heavy attack, and this replaces a simple cold mode, which in this case would be Vicious Rust, because this gives us status chance cold and critical damage. So, if we use it on the Simulacrum, I mean, there shouldn't be any surprises in how much damage it deals, so the moment it procs, it's just over completely with Melee Vortex. Absolutely everyone dies almost instantly. So we're gonna go into a normal mission. We're gonna see how much KPM we'll manage to get without really paying much attention to dealing that much KPM. And for this, I'm just gonna use my normal Wisp. I'm gonna add Warcry, and then I'm just gonna be holding E. So, actually, let's use this one. Why not? Go to the Warcry build. This one is my preferred one for using melee only, and it feels quite nice for tanking a bit, not really having to care about using iframes and all that, so feels way better. Gonna go to Annie, because no nullifiers. In case you don't know, I mentioned this a lot, but Annie is my favorite mission to do long runs on because there is no nullifiers, 0 nullifiers. The rest of the upgrades for Nami Solo are simply the on-equip upgrade, which doesn't really matter because we have it equipped all the time. And then the other augment would simply be hybrid status chance and crit chance, which I don't remember how it's called exactly, but let's start. So it pulls them all together. And the insane thing about the Melee Vortex Arcane is that it has no cooldown. So you can simply just spam E constantly and it will pull enemies consistently. 45% chance, really good in general. And if you don't have a weapon that can abuse melee influence, or if you have a weapon with really high follow through, this Arcane, it really is better than melee flinch. Also, on something like Doorclave, it will 100% be better than melee influence, because melee influence, in case you don't know, only shares the normal status effects, the elemental status effects. You cannot share normal status effects with melee influence, so any slash damage you deal will not be shared, which kinda sucks. Regardless, to see that we're not really trying. Our kills is on 171, which is pretty low, but I guess this is because the room is pretty big. This is not an ideal room to do this, and I should probably head for a better one. But there's pretty good damage happening all around. 157k on most of the hits after they are status affected with condition overload. Alright, this is a way better room, so let's go here. But the previous room kind of ruins KPM completely. It is way too big, and the extra floors, when you're using a melee, it's not really ideal. Can go back to spamming. But yeah, in general, for literally no damage buffs and only attack speed buffs, this is absolutely crazy. And obviously, if you want to get an attack speed buff onto your build, even though in my opinion you don't need it, the Nami Solo is already really fast. Why is the Stalker invading me? Seriously, bro? Captain War? I haven't killed Captain War in ages. I don't know how he found out that I killed Captain War all of a sudden. I feel like he's bugged. I don't know if I've killed the boss for a very long time, in fact. Anyways. Wow. So yeah. That's kind of what's gonna happen to Acolytes too. It's no different than Captain War. But yeah, 1.2 million, that was without Tenokai as well. I thought I would get it, but I didn't, unfortunately. And even though all of that waiting and all of that stalling that happened to find a better tile set, we're still way over 100 kills per minute. Actually, not way over, but we're still over 100 kills per minute. So, played correctly, not fucking around, no talking. You can easily get over 150, 160 kills per minute with this setup. And you can add way better stuff than Wisp for AoE killing, like Clervo, Siren, or the extra dot. There is just so much stuff you can do. And yeah, it will help a lot. As you see, Melee Vortex trying to pull people from up there, but that's not possible, so they just stick to the wall, and yeah. But anything you touch just completely disappears. This combination, this 1.0 follow-through, no matter what machete we use, it's not gonna compare to the Nami Solo, because the follow-through being 1.0 is just completely broken, making it one of the best melee weapons in the entire game. So here comes the Acolytes too, to get, well, the same treatment as Stalker, most likely. Oh, it's Misery. Come on, you give me the easiest Acolyte to kill as well. You're asking for me to one-shot it. Yeah, no. Regardless, almost 600 kills already. It's really, really strong. I don't think it's something you can really do as a new player. It needs like the latest arcanes. My Riven mode is something close to a gold roll, I would say. It's literally status chance, cold, and crit damage, so very, very strong Riven. Which gives us the ideal mix of magnetic and toxin, so you get half and half. So this is kind of what peak performance would look like on the Nami Solo with this build. Which is why it is so strong, but even without the Riven mode, this is still insanely strong. It is crazy strong. And I can show that. I don't really care if I wanna like redo the mission without a Riven, like I can just do that. And you will see there is pretty much no difference. This is happening. This damage and this AoE killing is happening because of follow through, and it is because of follow through and because of its importance as a stat that people kind of botch their builds when it comes to melee weapons, like I used to do. For example, Broken War. I used to have a Riven mode. I don't know if I still have it. Okay, yeah, I don't have it anymore. But my Riven mode used to be with plus range instead of minus range. Now, you may be like, okay, this minus range hurts a bit, but simply doing this, now the minus range is fixed, and this weapon has 60% follow through. So if you hit multiple people with this weapon, it just feels absolutely terrible, because you do literally 0 damage to the people that you're hitting. So it's way better to just go for a single target DPS build with Vira Slash and then go for Tenokai here, something like that. And this is kind of to help you understand how you need to build your melee weapon, because follow through when it comes to building melee weapons as normal melees and not as something like glaives and statistics or anything like that. This is something that will help you a lot, and it will help you realize what mods you need to put onto said weapon that you're trying to use. So, right now, I can replace this with the Vicious Thrust mode real quick, just so that Obviously, we're gonna see less damage, but the result will be absolutely the same. I'm not gonna stay an entire 5 minutes because this video is gonna be too long, and my upload speed is unfortunately terrible. So yeah, but I think you will get the point by looking at this as well. You will, because a lot of people ask me why do you use Riven on all your weapons, and the simple reasoning is, well, I do own them, and they're part of the game, so I don't think it's unfair to use them. Obviously, not everyone will have one, but so Kanokai, and as you can see, we have stacked, and it's like nothing ever changed. Granted, there is a lot less damage numbers, but there is still quite a bit of DPS to kill these enemies very quickly. And now that it's time 12, we see still 130k very easily. Now enemies come in. So, very, very good. One thing I could change in my Riven, even though I like Shadow Chance, would be to replace Shadow Chance with range, because 1.0 follow through, extra range doesn't hurt us at all. Hitting multiple people makes zero difference, but yeah. So 1 minute in, we're already at 173 kills, so I think that kind of proves the point. Let's say until 2 minutes. Somehow enemies are still being pulled there. This is very weird. Oops. About a heavy attack. Arcane Reaper going hard. Two minutes, 252 kills. Definitely possible to get 150 kills per minute, and I don't think I need to show anything else. I think this kind of proves the point that, you know, you don't really need weapons, Rivens for the weapons I showcase to make them really, really strong. They are absolutely amazing on their own. And this one is definitely a top 3 best melee weapons right now. The Nami Solo is easily a top 3 best melee weapons in the game right now. It is absolutely insane because of the follow through. So, build one final time without a Riven, hold and then whatever, or you can go electricity and then whatever, that's also good. You kind of want to replace one of the 2 magnetic elements and then you're good, because Prime Fever Strike will give you the toxin. Now, if your Riven mod has heat or has toxin, then you can simply put magnetic from your mods and then put heat or toxin instead of the Riven, or like the Riven instead of Prime Fever Strike, whatever element you got. But for maximum damage and maximum potential, you would want something like this. So, thank you very much for the video. I cannot wait to see you guys on the streams, and I cannot wait to play the update. And I'll post once again the links in the descriptions, and I will see you on the next one.